So I just got out from watching the family comedy The Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up, which is directed by Pete Browngardt in his feature film debut and stars the voice cast of Eric Bauza, Candi, Milo and Peter MacNicol. So this film's debut was a strange one. Back in 2024 it had its official debut at the Anarchy Animation Film Festival, and then in December of that same year it had a limited run in the States. But this is actually the first time it's actually made its way over here. So think about that. 2024 it actually screens, and the UK we don't get it until 2026. Now the last time I saw a Looney Tunes movie was actually Space Jam Legacy, and I actually really did enjoy that, as well as Space Jam before that. But I don't remember the last time I actually saw a Looney Tunes feature film where it was just the Looney Tunes. And to add further to that, it's just Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. So I thought at least it'd be interesting to see, could they carry a movie all by themselves like this? I also had heard that this was only meant for HBO Max and wasn't intended to come to the cinema in the first place. So would I notice that on screen like people did with Moana 2 or not? And in that respect, it did actually feel like a film. It didn't feel like I was just watching some quick cartoon sketch, just stretched out over 90 minutes. And I think it's owed in large part to the music of this film. The music really gave it that sort of theatrical score, adding in lots of pop tunes, things like It's the End of the World as We Know It, things like I did enjoy that song in the film. So musically, it did actually bring something to the movie screen. As for the story, I thought the story was quite all right as well, of an alien plot, and it does actually have some twists in it which are quite humorous, quite funny and interesting. I didn't expect it to kind of go that way. And Daffy Duck and Porky Pig, in fact, actually the strongest part of the film for me was the first half of the movie. I was actually really quite on board. I was quite engaged with the plot and the funny scenarios, the fact that their roof is basically caved in because of some like alien goo substance on it, and they're trying to get the roof repaired because a local council person has said, look, that roof is going to stay the way it is, you know, this house is going to be condemned, so you need some money to repair that roof. I really did enjoy the sketch of them going out and getting jobs, and Daffy Duck is usually the one that kind of messes that all up for them, and it just keeps going, fired from this job, fired from that job, and that was really quite funny. In fact, while I'm talking about Daffy Duck, I actually thought he was more of a sarcastic character usually. In this, he seems a little bit more watered down. He seems to be a bit more out of control and loony, so to speak. And I know he's a Looney Tune, but he always had those sort of sarcastic lines that used to really make me laugh. He has one or two of them, but he mostly plays up the chaos of the character, and I wasn't expecting that. Porky Pig was quite entertaining as well, and in this one he has a love interest character, and I thought that was quite interesting. It brought something new to the Looney Tunes. Porky Pig was an interesting character, and Porky Pig was a fun character, and he had a love interest in this one, and that's another thing that made it feel like it was more of a movie, because it stepped out from the usual Saturday morning sketch to, you know, give you some heart to the story. But that's where the positives probably end for me. I think the second half of the movie did feel a little bit sluggish. I did kind of check out, I did get a little bit bored. Probably for me it maybe just overstretched its runtime. It's only an hour and a half, but I felt like this should have really only been about like a 45-minute to an hour sketch at most. In fact, actually, it got round to what I thought was the resolution of the story, and then it just kept going. Now, as I do give this review, you should keep in mind this is a kids' movie, and this is more intended for kids. I think adults watching it with their children, I think you'll get more out of it than, say, what I got out of, say, Goat when I watched that one, on a humour level. On a story level, I think Goat was better in that department. The ride was more enjoyable in that respect, but from just sheer gags and stuff, although this movie isn't absolutely packed with them, the gags were a little bit better in this movie. So I think adults sitting there watching it with the children would probably get a bit more out of that side of it. So on to my rating. Again, keep in mind this is a kids film, but I am giving this review from my own personal experience, and I would give this movie watchable. It's not bad, it's not great. It would hold most people's attention, I guess, throughout. I think, as I said, it just overstayed its welcome. It could have been under the hour mark for sure, and I think it would have been a lot more tighter and a bit more, it would have probably gone down better with me. So have you seen Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up? Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it or not. And as always, if you have made it this far in a video, do press like and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. Check out the other playlists, which include movie reviews, movie rankings, movie attractions, and so much more. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.